3 pi over 2. And you'll see you get about 0.8. Can't graph much better than that. And then about 2.4. So those are your points of inflection. Okay. So what does your graph do? I'll have to move to another page. So if we put on the number line, if we put all our values, 0 to 2 pi, and we're going to put our critical numbers, which are pi over 6 and 5 pi over 6, and we're going to put our, we'll also put our points of inflection, which are pi over 2 and 3 pi over 2. Okay, so where would those go? Okay, so I have pi over 6 and 5 pi over 6, and pi over 2 and 3 pi over 2. So we have pi over 6 first. Okay, then we'll have pi over 2, 5 pi over 6, and the other one is 3 pi over 2. And then you'll test your values. And we've already done pi over 6 is about 0.5. We've already done that. Pi over 2 is about 1.6. 5 pi over 6 is 2.6. 3 pi over 2 is 4.7. And then 6.3. So I can test 0.2, 1, and I can test 2. Actually, I don't even have to test them. I can just put the values in. From 0 to pi over 6, we know it's increasing. And we know it is concave down. From pi over 6 to pi over 2, we know it's decreasing, and we know it's concave down. From pi over 2 to 5 pi over 6, we know it is decreasing, and we know it's concave up. From 5 pi over 6 to 3 pi over 2, we know it's going to be increasing and concave up. And then finally, from 3 pi over 2 to 2 pi, we know it's increasing and concave down. That's just coming straight off of our number lines for each one. Okay, so that means this is going to be increasing and concave down, decreasing and concave down, decreasing and concave up, increasing and concave up, increasing and concave down. So what does a graph look like just in general? It's going to be increasing and concave down, then it's going to have to do this. Okay? If it's going to be decreasing and concave down, it's going to have to do this. Decreasing and concave up, what does that mean? If decreasing and concave up would have to be like, what was our decreasing and concave up? Decreasing concave up looks like this, okay? And then increasing and concave up would be here. And then increasing and concave down would put us again like that. Okay. And that's what you would expect from a trig function. Okay. So we already know that we have a, if I graph this as a trig function to 2 pi, we know we have a maximum at pi over 6, so somewhere in here we have a maximum. And then we have a minimum at 5 pi over 6, so somewhere over here we have a minimum. Okay. We know the concavity intervals, we know points of inflection are at pi over 2, 0.8. Okay, you know we had a maximum at pi over 6, so it's going to have to be higher. So it's going to look, let me do my other point of inflection, 3 pi over 2, 2.4. So it'd be up here.